he getting dough. Get him on the phone. Say he got a play. Bring it to the bro. Turn the rain to snow. Dripping head to toe. Never doubt the zone.
Hello and welcome back to the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. My name's Ismael San Juan. I'm so happy to have you guys here. It's been a minute. Not gonna lie, it's been a while since I did one of these, and I do want to apologize for that. But you know, it is a good time for sports right now. NBA Finals. We're heading into Game 3. Roland Garros is halfway through the second week. It's almost wrapping up. We're getting to the last stages of Roland Garros. Champions League final is this weekend. City versus Inter. It's going to be a great match. I'm rooting for Inter. But yeah, just want to apologize for, not making an episode, not talking about sports with you guys in a minute. I've been busy. I've been dealing with some other stuff, but I'm back and let's get right to it. Today, Alcaraz makes Tsitsipas look like a kid, like a bum, like he does not belong on the court with him. It was pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I tuned in. I watched most of the game, and I must say, like the first two sets, especially, that boy Alcaraz, that boy is crazy, man. 20 years old. We know he won the U.S. Open already. We know, he's beating Djokovic. He's beating Nadal. He's beating basically everyone on tour already. He's the next big thing. He's gonna take the reign, or he already took the reins from the big three basically. And he just punked. Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas, tried to play it light afterwards in the post game press conference, saying, I shouldn't have taken that melatonin. I shouldn't have taken a nap before the match. Man, you could have stayed up for the last 24 hours or taken a nap till the beginning of the match. Like, it did not matter. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. That's what Alcaraz showed today, that there's levels to this. And, if I'm the rest of the field, I'm seeing Alcaraz just improve and improve and improve. And I'm like, man, that's scary. He could really, really take over right here. Especially he plays Djokovic on Friday. And if he's able to defeat Djokovic, then it's like, all right, like no one could beat him. No one could stand. And Clay, he plays good on Clay too. Like he was one of the favorites even last year going into Roland Garros, where he lost to Zverev. But I want to emphasize this for the match on Friday. Djokovic versus Alcaraz on Friday is must-watch TV. Like if you've been trying to get into tennis, if you hear about the U.S. Open sometimes, you catch the little highlights on Instagram Reels or on TikTok. I'll be trying to share them sometimes, the cool highlights. If you ever thought about getting into tennis and you never knew, I don't know the players, I don't know when they're playing, I don't know none of that. I'm telling you right now, if you want to get into tennis, you want one match that's going to convince you to get into tennis, tune in on Friday to see Alcaraz versus Djokovic. Honestly, all it takes is one match, one good rally, a couple of suspenseful moments where they go to advantage deuce. You might not even know what that means if you're hearing this, but if you've ever thought about paying attention to tennis, tune in to Alcaraz versus Djokovic. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to watch tennis in the States. I will say that. Like, if you have to find a stream or, tennis channel, hit up someone that has tennis channel on their YouTube TV, on their Sling, on their Xfinity TV, on their Hulu TV. Hit up someone that has tennis channel or tennis TV on it and try to watch the game, because I'm telling you, this is must-watch TV. And if you ever thought about, even just picking up tennis, it's a fun sport to play casually with some friends. Just go ahead on the courts. Or if you ever thought about getting into tennis, or you're one of the millions and millions of fans that like all the regular sports like soccer, football, basketball, like the big sports in the U.S., and you're thinking about maybe picking up golf or picking up tennis, a little sport that's branded like a little more like, high class, a little more white collar. Hey, this is the match that will get you into it, because it could get hyped too. Like I grew up on soccer. I picked up football, picked up basketball. Those were my big three for the longest. And these last few years, I've just gotten super into tennis. It's probably the sport I play the most with soccer. It's definitely one of the sports. I mean, I watch a lot of sports, so I wouldn't say it's the one I watch the most, because I just watch everything, but even F1. But I'm telling you, I could reference couple years ago, I was the only one really watching tennis out of my friend groups. I wanted one of my roommates in SF to get into it. Roland Garros was going, 2021 Roland Garros, and I told him to tune in to Djokovic against Nadal in the semifinals of the 2021 Roland Garros. And we weren't. It was still like pandemic times. Like we weren't even watching it together. We're kind of just texting each other through the match. And that, I mean, if you guys didn't watch that match, go catch some highlights. That match was insane. It was one of the best matches ever. That third set, Djokovic versus Nadal, is probably one of the best sets ever of all time. Like the tennis was just ridiculous. I remember like Schwartzman and like Tsitsipas and I think Zverev and like almost the whole tourney was just reacting to it. Like everyone was live tweeting. Like I think Schwartzman even has this tweet that I remember vividly. Where he was like, if they're playing tennis, like what are we even playing? Like we look like mere mortals compared to these guys. And that was my homie's first match that he ever watched, and after that he's been hooked. Like all it took was seeing. I mean, it is one of the best matches ever apparently. But like I said, all it takes is one match, one really good match that you watch and you get hooked. You see the rallies, you understand it. You go pick up the racket, you go play a little bit. You understand the thrill of it. All it takes is one match and you get hooked, I'm telling you. So if you've ever thought about watching tennis, if you've ever considered, like why do people watch this? Like I don't really get it. They're just hitting the ball over the net. I'm telling you, tune in on Friday, Alcaraz versus Djokovic, and I guarantee you're gonna be hooked. You're gonna obviously not every match is gonna be as good as this one's gonna be, because I can guarantee you this one's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a classic. Obviously, not every match is gonna be as good as this one moving forward, but once you get into the sport, you start appreciating like the other matches. It's kind of like soccer. Like if you don't really watch soccer, but you watch one good game, you get hooked, and then you start watching more soccer, and then even the boring matches, just like a team that gets pressed towards the back and they're able to play out and work their way out of a press, and you hear the crowd clap, and like if you were just maybe a couple months removed from when you got into soccer, you'll be like, why are they clapping? Nothing happened. But the more you watch soccer, the more you understand, like, oh, I get it. Like, they're clapping because they were really pressed all the way in the back and they were able to get the ball out of their own side of the field and go attack. And that was nice. Same thing with tennis. The more you watch it, the more, you'll start appreciating. Not every match has to be like an all-time classic for you to enjoy it. Like, it'll just come naturally. You just start enjoying it more. So I'm telling you, if you want to get into tennis, if you want to get hooked, Alcaraz versus Djokovic on Friday. Make sure, write it down. But most of the people probably watching this, hearing this, they're already into basketball. They know what's up. They know the NBA Finals is going on right now. Game 3 of the NBA Finals tips off this Wednesday, June 7th at 5:30 p.m. The series is tied 1-1. Before the series started, I was talking to my friend. I was like, man, my heart's telling me the Heat. Like, I really want the Heat to win. I really fuck with Jimmy Butler. That's my guy. Michael Jordan's lost son. I really want Jimmy Butler to win. I really want the Heat to win. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan and I love Kobe, and you can see from the background. And I'm not. The Nuggets swept the Lakers, but I'm not too salty about it. Like, I'm not like, just because they beat us, I want them to lose. I just really like Jimmy Butler, so I want Jimmy Butler to win. But I told my friend, I was like, man, my heart's telling me the Heat. My heart's telling me the Heat, but my brain's telling me Nuggets. So I said Nuggets in 6. But now that the series is tied 1-1, I'm gonna lean into my heart. I'm gonna go with the Heat. I think the Heat pull it off. It's a 5-game series now, and the Heat have home field advantage. Although they did struggle to win some games at home against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Final, I do think I think they'll get it done tomorrow. Even though they're underdogs at home in the NBA Finals, which is crazy, but like I said, they're playing really good. Butler, I really like what they did in Game 2, where Bam Adebayo was I really like what they did in game 2, where Bam Adebayo was bringing the ball up and starting the offense, and he wasn't just bringing the ball up, like he was pushing the pace. Like he'll get a rebound and he'll like sprint up the court, and maybe he wouldn't attack the paint like fully every single time, but he would dribble up the court like pretty fast, at least get to the like 3-point line, and then he'll start like doing offense and stuff. But I like that. I like them pushing the pace, and I like it especially being Adebayo because it makes Djokovic run. And although he does look more fit than he was like just even like 2 years ago, he's still, his stamina is probably not like the best. He's definitely an elite athlete, and obviously he's MVP and stuff. Not this year, but like the last 2 years. So I wouldn't say he's not fit, but I'm just saying it's not like he's not overly fit. So if you could push him, if you could get him tired, by all means. Yeah, the Miami crowd has been sick, not gonna lie. Like watching them through the playoffs, they have their chants going. They usually got like white towels going. That arena looks dope. I will have to say that I've been in that arena. Miami Ultra 2018. Me and the boys went to Miami, had a good time. Shout out to the homies that I went with. So yeah, I remember being in that arena. Unfortunately for me, the Heat weren't that good around that time. I did see the Heat against the Knicks. And it wasn't the best matchup. Like I'm pretty sure both teams were struggling that year. Obviously the Knicks haven't been that good in forever. And I think the Heat, LeBron had left, and they were kind of like trying to find their footing without LeBron at that time. So yeah, it wasn't the best game, but I will say that I have been in that arena and it was a good time. Not the best match, like I said, but the arena was good, the atmosphere was good, the alcohol was hitting. We were there for vacation of spring break. It was a great time. It was a great time. So Miami does have a fond place in my heart, and I do hope that the Heat are able to pull this victory. Like I said, they're underdogs at home in the finals, which is kind of crazy. But hopefully this is a theme for this week. Like it's underdogs week. I think the Heat get it done as underdogs at home, and they've been underdogs this whole playoffs, like this whole NBA like playoff run that they've been on. Like I think they've been underdogs in like almost every single game. Like no one really favored them against the Bucks. And the Knicks, I think they were favorites like when they were at home. But even against the Celtics, they were like underdogs almost every single game. And they lost some of the matches that they were favored when they were 3-0 and stuff like that. But the disrespect for the Heat has been crazy. They obviously have like the best coach in the NBA right now in Spo. And Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets. I always remember when he was with the Bulls. He was just a defensive player. I used to play with him on 2K and develop him and stuff. But I will always remember their commentator, Jimmy G Buckets. The G stands for gets. I thought that was a sick bit that Bulls announcer used to do. Jimmy G Buckets. The G stands for gets. And now look at him. Like 8-9 years later, he's in the finals for the second time. 30th pick in the first round of I forgot what draft, but he was a late pick. Like his storyline's crazy. Like getting adopted and all that stuff. So I mean, I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan. Like he's dope. He's sick. But yeah, I remember back in 2K, I used to trade for him and Kawhi Leonard and develop both of them way back in the day. Just get like 2, 3 and Ds. It was sick. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, I hope you win. I hope the Heat win game 3. We'll see. Like I said, the game's in Miami, and the Nuggets haven't lost at home this whole playoffs till game 2. So they could either be shell shocked and be like, damn, we really lost at home. That was our fortress. Like, what's going on? Or they could use it to motivate themselves and come out shooting. Because when the Nuggets are shooting, when Michael Porter Jr. is hitting those running threes, like running to the corner and shooting like contested threes, and they're going in, and Murray's hitting like step back threes and dancing on you, and Djokovic is hitting like the cutter, right? So for a layup, and he's like throwing his body around at you and kicking it out to like Bruce Brown, and they're hitting nothing but net, and KCP's hitting nothing but net, and it becomes a lot. It's like, whoa, this team is unstoppable. But then the shots start not falling, and Michael Porter Jr. plays like zero defense once his shot's not falling, And then Murray, he could get tired kind of quick. Like there's been a couple games this playoffs where in the fourth quarter he's just like super gassed. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a great game. Super pumped. I do think the Heat are gonna win, take a 2-1 lead, put some pressure in the Nuggets to really get game 4. But you guys let me know on the comments if you guys think on the YouTube comments if you guys think the Heat are gonna win or the Nuggets, or if you're just listening to the pod, freaking just tweet at me at Hard to Handle Sports or H2H Sports _. That should be the Twitter handle. And like I said, this week is the underdog week. Like I want the Heat to, as underdogs, beat the Nuggets. But in the soccer world, in the football world, I want Inter Milan needs to save football and beat City. Yes, they must save football. Like no one wants City to win. If you're a City fan, like you're probably, you haven't watched soccer that long. You haven't watched football that long. Obviously, there is some loyal fans that have been there forever, as every club does. Every club has, but I really don't want City to win, man. I don't want City to win. I don't want PSG to win. Newcastle, we'll see. We'll see what the public perception is, but I think that one's a little different. Yeah, it's just honestly, it's been kind of fun seeing PSG and City not win, put all this money into their team and not win the Champions League. Yeah, City has a freaking chokehold on the Premier League, and PSG has a stranglehold on the League One. But they could have all of those as long as they don't get Champions League, as long as that they don't get that European trophy. Like that's something that all of us fans or haters of City could hold on to. Like yeah, keep winning Premier Leagues. Like your team still has no history, has no Champions League, no European trophies. That's been like the one thing that City haters could grab onto, and I want to be able to still say that. I want to be able to still talk to any, because every time I mean, I don't know about you guys, but every time I see a City fan, I'm like, bro, you're a plastic fan. You're just a brand new fan. Like, bro, name 5 players from like 2009 or 2012 or something like that. Like, who was the first purchase that really transitioned this change into what City is right now? Like, do you even know Robinho? Do you even remember Yaya Touré? Like Silva? Like, I feel like a lot of, like, especially these last few years, City has really gained a lot of popularity now that they're like just winning Premier Leagues for fun. But yeah, Inter, heavy underdog going into the final. Like, they're minus 225. City is favorites. If you put $100 on Inter, you win $575. Like, that's insane. Like, Vegas is really favoriting City, as they should. They're going for the treble. They won the Premier League. They just won the FA Cup. City's playing amazing. Although I'm not the biggest Pep fan, and I'm like, the streets will always choose Mourinho over Pep, and I'm one of those loyalists to Mourinho. I can't deny that Pep has his team firing. All it took is like $2 billion. All it took was to invest $2 billion into that squad. But hey, City's playing amazing. City has been playing amazing for like the last 2-3 years. Like, they've been playing great for like 5, 6, 7 years. But they've been playing like amazing these last 3 years, when they've, gone toe to toe with like the best Liverpool ever. And, last year they got to the semifinals of the Champions League. And man, it's just insane like that they haven't won it so far. So I want them to not win it. Not gonna lie, as a hater, I just don't want them to win it. I want Pep to not win with City. I want him to invest another $1 billion. I want him to keep stacking the decks against everyone else. Just keep buying everyone's players. What's his name? Phillips from Leeds just went to brought in the bench for City, but he's happy, so it's all good. Like, it's insane how deep their squad is. Like, they have like 20 like violations that they're trying to, get off their books. Like, they're trying to beat like 20 allegations that they're probably not. Like, we'll see what the repercussions are to that. There's just a lot of things wrong with City. Like, there's no way. And there's obviously they're not the first team like Chelsea and like I said, PSG, and there's other teams, and there will be other teams that do this too. Like, don't get me wrong, but there's something about City. There's something about City that's just like they got no history, and it's just fun. As I'm not gonna lie, it's fun, and I honestly I can't even hate that much because a lot the way people talk about City now, or like especially Premier League teams talk about City, that's kind of how some teams or like the rest of the world sees like Real Madrid or Club America, but that's different. I feel like it's different because America and Real Madrid, rich history, not backed by oil, like big history in the capital. It's different. It's not. Real Madrid and America is football heritage, and Man City is just bought. Keep buying players. Have like 2 world class starting 11. Like, what was that picture that showed up when they had clinched the Premier League and they had like De Bruyne and like Gundogan and Ederson and Haaland. They had everyone in the bench, and it was like, is this the most stacked bench ever? And they were still like, Alvarez was on the field, and Foden was on the field. Like, they still had like a elite starting 11. Like that. This team is insane. So if Inter pull it off, man, the streets will never forget. But the X factor, my boy Lukaku. My boy Lukaku has just got confirmed that he's dating Megan Thee Stallion. My boy's thriving. My boy probably gonna go into that game, feeling like he's on top of the world, and as he should. Good for him. But like I said, Lukaku, when he's on, he's on. Like, not gonna lie, especially early in his career when he was playing with Everton, like that Lukaku was many. That Lukaku was insane. He was really, really good. And obviously, he misses a lot of chances now. And that Belgian team, with him being the front man, never quite lived up to that hype. And even him, like, there's so many memes, like, with the Timberlands on Lukaku and, like, no first touch. And, like, I can see where the hate comes towards Lukaku, especially these last few years. But if he just has a little vintage game, like, if we just get a prime Chelsea Lukaku, or like a prime young Everton Lukaku game, like, because City is stacked everywhere. They got really good center backs, really good midfield. They got players on the bench that could come in and change the game. But there's one thing you can't teach is size. And my boy Lukaku is built. He's still a menace inside the box. Like, I don't care how good Diaz is and Stones, and Stones gotten better the last few years. Diaz, one of the best center backs in the world. Just how you can't teach size, like how, obviously, I'm not trying to compare Lukaku to Haaland, but my boy's thick and he's strong. So like he could use his body. You give him a through ball, there's a rebound, ball's bouncing in the 18-yard box. He could throw his body around and create a chance for him just by how muscular and how big he is, and big chest, big shoulders. He could, like I said, when his effort's there and he's making runs, and he can make center backs' life hell. So if my boy Lukaku has a good game, he could be the X factor. Realistically though, City might run away with this. Not gonna lie, they're looking hella good. Like, the hater in me, the City hater in me, and just for the jokes, to keep joking on City and Pep, I want Inter to win. But not gonna lie, I'll be really happy if Inter have the game 0-0 at halftime. Like, I'll be ecstatic. If the game's 0-0 at halftime, then the pressure goes to City for sure, and we'll see what they do in that second half. If Inter gets scored on in the first 10 minutes, first 15 minutes, it's curtains. Not gonna lie. If you ask Inter to go propose the game, to go chase a scoreline, it could get ugly. It could get bad for Inter. Not gonna lie, it could get really bad. If they're able to make it at least to halftime 0-0, hey, those demons, those flashbacks of Real Madrid last year might start creeping on City. They might be like, hey, is it not meant for it to be? Like, is Manchester red? They might be asking all these questions. But who do you guys think is going to win? Who are you guys hopeful? Are you guys, as soccer fans, are you guys rooting against City like I am? Like, a long time soccer fan. Like, dude, I'm 28. I've been watching soccer since I was like 2 or 3. Like that was literally my first love. Watching America with Cuauhtemoc Blanco and fixing the antenna, trying to get a better signal. Like I don't know. There's something about me that I could appreciate the soccer that they play, and it is cool seeing like that much talent on one team. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, I don't want you to win Champions League. But that should do it for this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Thank you if you made it to the end. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Check my mentions. When I slide, no sudden moves. On my goons are stretching. And I'm taxing for the fee on my damn collections.